Thank you very much. Welcome to the podcast.
My pleasure.
So can you introduce us a little bit on, well, first of all, who are you? And what's your background a little bit? How did you come to this market of mobile robots?
So my name is Javier Miguelez. I am an engineer, industrial engineer, though many people keeps on thinking that I am a financial or economics guy, which I appreciate a lot. Actually, that's kind of a compliment. Someone calling an engineer a financial guy. But I am an industrial engineer from an educational point of view. And I started working for the mobile robotics industry in 2013. I joined a company which name was at that time ASTI. Then it became ASTI Mobile Robotics, and then a couple of years ago actually was acquired by ABB. And they hired me. That was all. So they made me an interview and they hired me, and that's how I started working for the mobile robotics industry. I mean, it was a coincidence. There was nothing behind. And I worked for 6 years at ASTI. The good thing is that, it was a great experience, actually, because we jumped from like a team of 45 or 50 people to a team of more than 300 or around 300 in 6 years. So, you can imagine, it was a big jump. And, it was experience, a very, very interesting experience. And then I left ASTI Mobile Robotics in 2019, and since then I have been a consultant. First, I was a self-employed consultant, and since last year, we have founded together with Eva Santa Marta, another engineer coming actually from ASTI. We have joined forces together and founded Moving Robots, which is our company right now.
That was quite a huge growth. What do you think was the reason for that growth at ASTI?
Being at the right time, at the right moment, right people, right product, all together. That's how it works.
Was that in a specific industry, or what type of applications were
it was automotive industry, and it was a very particular product for automotive industry, and it worked. And the people working in the company was the good one in order to do that. So it was just a coincidence in time, I would say.
What type of product was it?
An AGV.
Okay.
Magnetic guided AGV. So you can imagine that it was 11 years ago. The landscape of mobile robotics was quite different from today. Actually, you didn't have so many manufacturers around. You had manufacturers in Northern Europe, in Germany, but not that many in Southern Europe, or even in the United States or China. So the landscape was completely different. And at that moment, we had a good product, and at the right moment.
Did ASTI have a product?
Yeah.
Or was it developed for those companies?
No, it was developed before, actually, for other companies, but then PSA, Peugeot Citroën, appeared, and it was the perfect product for them. Okay. It was a good product, and it is still a good product.
Was it luck, or was it on purpose designed for that type of application?
That's a good question. No, I guess that at the beginning it was not designed for that particular application. It was designed for other applications, but in automotive industry. So this means that the reliability of the product was quite high. That was part of the success. And then it was thought, or it was designed from a modularity perspective. It was so modular. Not from a physical point of view, or not from perspective of the vehicle itself, the different modules of the vehicle, not from that perspective, but from the perspective of uses. It was a vehicle that you can use for any kind of application, or not any kind, but many applications in automotive industry at the same time. So it's very modular. So you can use it at the same time for a production assembly line or for logistics. And that was part of the success again. Yeah.
Okay. Talking about the automotive industry, what are like the key requirements in this industry for solutions?
I guess that the most important one is the reliability. Usually called not reliability, but availability. So if the technical name of that is availability. So that's the percentage of time that something has to work during a year. So usually in the mobile robotics industry, the levels are not that high. In that particular case that I have mentioned before, it was very high. It was over 99%. And that is the usual requirement of automotive industry, over 99% of the time working.
Okay. What was your function at ASTI?
When I joined the company, I was commercial engineer. So I was a salesman in the end. And then more or less 3 years later, I became well, it was not called commercial engineer. It was called business development engineer. Yeah, well, business development engineer, sorry. Business development engineer. And after that, I became the director of that department in particular.
Okay. How did that end, or why did you switch from ASTI to your next position?
Una pregunta incómoda. No, well, at a certain point, that wasn't my place anymore, and I had to leave. And it was a hard decision because, well, the work there was amazing. So, I mean, we work for any big company that you can imagine in the world. So we were working in North America, South America, Africa, Asia, all around Europe. So we were working around the world. So it was amazing, but there is a time to leave, and that was my time to leave, and I left.
Okay. And after that?
I was self-employed until last year.
Working as a consultant for the AMR and AGV industry?
For two industries. The same thing that we are doing today, actually, not that different. We have mainly two types of customers. The first type of customer is usually an industrial or logistics company. They want to automate, they don't know how to do it, and we help them with that. This is the first kind of customer. The second one is usually a technological company. It could be a mobile robot manufacturer. It could be a mobile robot integrator. It could be a mobile robot software developer. In general, we work for mobile robotics companies, and what we do for them is mostly first product definition, how to match the product with the market requirements or the market needs, and second, strategy, because we see that many of our customers, they are really good engineers, but they know nothing about the strategy and they know nothing about the market. They just know about how to develop their product. And yeah, they lack these skills.
Why is strategy important?
Because, well, when you have a goal...
If you have a great product, they will just come and buy it.
No, it doesn't work that way. So if you have a goal, the way of reaching that goal is with a strategy, or more than one strategy in general. So a strategy is what brings you from your source to your destination. That's how it works. And if you don't have a strategy, you're not going to reach that goal in most of the cases. There are some exceptions. But
in the case of companies that want to integrate or start using mobile robots, what are the biggest challenges that they're facing?
First one, I would say, these companies are not big companies. They are small or medium companies. And since this mobile robotics industry is kind of new, they don't know how to manage the projects and the commercial aspects of this industry. This will be the first thing.
What do you mean by the commercial aspects of this?
That's what I was saying before, actually. They don't know how to match the needs of the market with what they have or what they can offer.
Okay,
but the way they offer.
Sorry, maybe I didn't explain properly. So the companies that want to start using AMRs or mobile robots.
So industry, logistics, industrial and logistics companies. The first stopper would be the lack of knowledge. They don't know what to buy and how it works. That's why we are here. So they what they do is, okay, I'm gonna call, I don't know, 3-4 providers, but they realize that each provider is willing to sell what they have, not really answer the needs of the customer from a honest perspective. So that's the first stopper for sure, the lack of knowledge. They don't know how this works, and they don't know how to make a good design of their application. And it's very difficult to get that knowledge, because there is evolution happens every day in this market.
This would be the first challenge. What's the second one?
The second one would be the time it takes. It takes a long time until you are able to decide what to do, and it takes, again, a long time to convince your company that you need to do that, and then it takes a long time until you have finally deployed the project and it is working.
But you watch the videos from our industrial robot, and it looks like you just buy it,
you
put it, and it works.
It never happens that way. No, it
Why not?
That way. It's not that easy. There are many steps. First, because when you think about automation is replacing people, and that may seem that easy, but it is not at all. You have to convince the company that there is a need for that, and that they're winning something. And that's the first thing. The second thing is the knowledge. So this all takes time. The definition of the project and the design of the project, it takes a long time until it is clear, because most of the people think that when you automate, it's just to replace a manual machine with an automated one, but it's not really that way. It's never that way, because a manual machine works in a very different way from an automatic one. So it's like you have to redesign your process, or not from scratch, but almost. So this takes time, particularly if you don't have the knowledge. And then it takes time to select the correct provider, because you have to visit them. You have to see where they have facilities, or where they have solutions working. And then it takes time until you deploy your solution and it's working fine. So there are many steps, and each step takes time, months.
I will ask you two questions. First, what are the most common type of applications that you are seeing for mobile robots in this type of industries? And what do you see as the new type of applications that are coming now in the future?
So the most important applications that we have witnessed in the last 30 years are mainly in automotive industry, both assembly and logistics applications, in food and beverage, and generally speaking in fast-moving consumer goods. So this is everything that you can find in a supermarket. There, the typical application is the transportation from the end of line to the warehouse, and then from the warehouse to the expedition area. And then the other big industry is logistics.
Intralogistics, or
not intralogistics, but logistics itself. So 3PLs, 4PLs, 5PLs, e-commerce.
What is 3PL, 4PL, 5PL?
3PL, 4PL, 5PL are the different. So when you subcontract your logistics, so I don't know, imagine that you're Decathlon and you want to subcontract your logistics. The kind of company that gives you those services can be a 3PL. Well, can be 1PL, 2PL, 3PL, 4PL, 5PL. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stands for the different levels of responsibility that provider has regarding your logistics.
Do you know what each one means?
The 3PL is actually the most common, and it is the one, if I remember correctly, it is the one that makes you only the logistics itself. The 4PL makes not only the logistics, so the transportation and storage, but the packaging in some cases, and some preparation of the product in order to be sent. And the fifth one is the one that does not only make the packaging and the logistics, but they go beyond that. I don't remember exactly the 5PL what has in difference with the 4PL, but it goes beyond that. Well, there different levels
Okay.
of
That's
logistics.
interesting.
There are some pictures in Google. You can find them. It will be more accurate than my explanation. And most probably, for the last months, I have been saying that the next trend will be airports. In airports, there are so many flows that can be automated with mobile robots. So we will be witnessing so many automated flows in airports in the coming years.
Autonomous or guided?
Yeah, autonomous. Well, that's a long discussion. that could be a long discussion. No, but mobile robots in general.
Okay.
That perform the transportation of both cargo and baggages.
There is a lot of infrastructure at airports.
Definitely.
And a lot of metal and a lot of...
Definitely. But, it's already happening.
What do you think are the advantages that airports could be looking for in using mobile robots?
The reduction of cost, for sure. This is the first thing. Second, I would say all the advantages that you can find with automation: precision, no mistakes, lack of labor shortage, for sure. That's an important point. Safety.
But the difference between a fixed structure and something that can be...
No, but I'm not talking about the fixed structure that you can find inside an airport. That, of course, as well. But for example, the transportation from the terminal to the airplane.
Okay.
So you have let's say 4 kind of applications for mobile robots in airports: the indoor ones and the outdoor ones. The indoor ones are 2. One is the transportation of baggage. The other one is the transportation of cargo. And same happens with the outdoor ones. So transportation of outdoor transportation of cargo, outdoor transportation of baggage. And inside, for sure, you can find so much metal structure around. Outdoor, what you find is so many towing tractors around. And in the case of the indoor applications, we will see how conveyors are substituted by mobile robots. In the case of the outdoor transportation, we will see that towing tractors will be replaced by autonomous towing tractors.
Okay, that's interesting. And what about... So this is part of the present, or is it part of the future?
It's already happening. It's starting right now. Actually, here in the Barcelona airport, there has in 2023, a test was made with this kind of solution. Yeah.
What do you see as the top 3 future applications for mobile robots, apart from airports?
Coming in the next years?
Yes.
That's a very difficult question.
Where should manufacturers be looking at, of AMRs or mobile robots?
Sorry?
Where should be those manufacturers of AMRs and...
Looking at?
Yes.
I think we will witness an increase in aerospace and metal, these 2. Particularly in aerospace as well. Until now, aerospace industry was not placing so much effort in the automation of logistics, but now they are starting to look at that, since there is quite a growth in aerospace industry, both in civil and defense. But when you have to manufacture or assemble an airplane, the logistics are huge. And not only big parts, but small parts as well. I always talk about the seats. How many seats do you have in an airplane? You have to transport them from the warehouse to the airplane itself, and you have to assemble them. So these are transportation that must be automated at some point, for sure.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so we have talked about the industries that are using mobile robots. What about the providers, the manufacturers, the developers of software? What are the biggest challenges that you see that they are facing? Let's talk about software, for example.
Yeah, I know where you're going. I think that if you want to manufacture a mobile robot from scratch, the first stopper that you find, the first stopper, no doubt, is that you need to know kinematics. And For that, you don't only need physics, you need an engineer, a quite good engineer. And there are not so many, to be honest. So there are not so many engineers specialized in the manufacturing of vehicles. That's a complicated, that's a hard science. It's difficult science. It may seem so easy, but it is not. So the first stopper comes from the kinematic side, and the second one comes from the software. So if you want to develop a software for a mobile robot on your own and from scratch, it will take a time, years. So that's another stopper. That's the second stopper.
So this will be from the companies that want to develop their own AMR. In terms of software for mobile robots, there are very different layers, from the motion from the wheels going up to managing logistics flows, for example. Also, there is now a trend towards, for example, standardization and being able to combine different types of mobile robots on the same plant, like with BDA 5050.
Well informed.
What is the situation right now, and where is it going? Because even some of the, most famous softwares still, I'm not sure they're fully supporting BDA 5050. It's not a closed specification.
This can be a long discussion. There is a need in the market for such a standardization. So the real need comes from the end users. So what they want is to combine different AGVs and AMRs coming from different brands. So that need is clear on the market. The path followed by the different standards, from the VDA 5050 going to mass robotics and the one existing in China, I have to say maybe it's not the correct. Because you cannot have a look at that need and answer it only with a protocol standard or with a standard protocol. So you cannot answer the need of combining different mobile robots from different brands with just a protocol. It doesn't work that way.
Okay.
There are many other things to take into account. And they should take into account many other protocols, not just the one between the mobile robot and the fleet manager. So I think that all these projects ongoing regarding standardization of protocols, of communication protocols, they are not really holistic. They don't have a holistic approach. And that could make them fail at some point.
What do you think I'm not sure how to ask you this question, but what do you think people that is going to be using mobile robots should be more careful about choosing software for the mobile robots?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. So if I want to integrate one robot or a fleet of robots, what is the layer of the software that I should be more careful when choosing it? It can be from lower level.
From an end user perspective?
Yes.
I don't think that's the most important thing you have to care about.
Okay. What should I care about?
I should care about hiring someone that is able to deploy my project until the end and make it work. Right now, I'm not sure about the percentage, so that there are no statistics about that. But it is said that between 10 and 30% of the mobile robotics projects fail. So, from 10 that are installed, between 10 and 30%, so 1 or 3, between 1 and 3, fail. They do not work. Maybe sometimes since the beginning, sometimes after some time, months, typically. And that's because there has been a wrong design of the application, or someone has not taken really care about the project. And that comes from the integrator. So I think it's more important to focus attention on that than to focus attention on the protocol standards.
Okay. Few questions about the future. Okay. So what do you see are the biggest trends in mobile robotics for the coming years?
Most probably, different ones. The first one would be there will be an evolution in the localization solutions, in the localization technologies. Clearly, actually, today there have been some news today about the full acquisition of 7sense by ABB. That answers a need in the market for strongest and more powerful localization solutions, localization technologies. So that would be a trend. We will see an evolution of the localization solutions, clearly, not only for indoor but for outdoor as well. Second trend would be pricing for sure. Pricing will continue to be going down because the numbers are growing in volume. So when the volume goes high, the prices go low. We'll see more and more mobile robotics applications in niche industries, not only in automotive and logistics and fast-moving consumer goods, but in many others, more specific. And I think that those.
AI has changed how many of us work in our day-to-day in all industries. It's affecting a lot of different industries, from programming, using Copilot, for example, to marketing, to people that are working in, lawyers. How do you think this is going to affect, or if it's going to have an effect in mobile robots?
It's gonna have an effect for sure. It's already having an effect. Well, actually, there is another trend that I didn't mention before. The other trend is that it would be that the installation cost and the installation time will decrease a lot. It takes so much time today to install a mobile robotics project. So that installation time will be going down, and therefore the cost for that installation will be going down, because there is a need for that. So you have an advantage if you are able to install a project faster than your competitor. So this time will be going down, and it's already going down. And so this was related to the other question that you have mentioned.
The trend. Now the second one is, how is going AI to affect?
So there we go. So AI will help a lot with the installation of the mobile robotics projects. A lot. It will make them so easy compared to what we have today, for sure.
But won't we need very large data sets in order to make that possible?
Yeah.
Do we have those data sets already?
It will come.
Maybe in automotive, yes.
No, but mostly we have two things here. The installation of the mobile robotics itself, that, for example, happens at your home. When you have these Roomba machines, these Roomba cleaning machines at home, those machines, even today, they are installed on their own. They just click the on button and they install themselves. They have they go around and they map all the house, and they know where they are and what to do. Right, that will happen with the mobile robots. So this is the first point. Second point will be that the integration with the other IT systems of the customer will be done automatically as well, and that's AI.
Is a mobile robot a collaborative robot?
Sure. In many cases, 90% of the cases. Well, no, not 90% of the cases from a volume perspective, because Amazon is not manufacturing collaborative robots, and Amazon is the largest mobile robot producer in the world. But from an application point of view, yeah.
Can you explain maybe the two types of mobile robots, the ones that are collaborative, the ones that don't, maybe?
So you have two types of mobile robots, the collaborative ones and the non-collaborative ones. The collaborative ones can work with a person around, and the second type, the non-collaborative ones, they are fenced.
Can you put an example of each one of them?
Yeah, a collaborative mobile robot is the one that you have at home, the Roomba. The non-collaborative robot is usually the Amazon one. It is fenced. So you need to open that fence to get inside the area where they are working, and they stop.
why should someone, or talking about the problems that you solve, and why should someone talk to you? Or with moving robots, or maybe tell me a little bit more about why did moving robots start? What's the mission of moving robots?
In the end, what we are is a shortcut. You would be able to select and define and design your own mobile robotics project. You will be able on your own. The only problem is that it will take so much time and you will need so much money. So we are a shortcut, both from a time and from a money perspective. So that's why our customers hire us. So in the end, what are we for our customers? Knowledge. We are just selling knowledge. So that's the reason why they hire us. That's why we exist.
What's the main benefit of working with moving robots?
Save time, save money.
It's clear. What is can you tell us about the process, how you make that happen?
So remember that we have two types of customers. So for the first type of customer, the industrial company or logistics company, what they usually say is that I want to automate. The first question is, okay, but why would you like to automate? So because someone told you to automate, so what's the question behind that? And we try to understand why they want to automate. Sometimes they tell you, no, I want to automate to save cost. That's acceptable, let's say. But we have seen in so many cases that they want to automate for marketing purposes, which is okay, but that has to be clear for you. So if your target is marketing, then it is not to reduce operational cost. So the first thing we do is try to understand why they want to automate. Actually, last week, it happens to us that we went to a customer. So we had an online meeting, and they told us we want to automate. And I said, why would you like to automate? Oh, we want to reduce cost. And we told them, excuse me, but the country where you are, taking into account that you're working one shift, it's impossible. You're not going to save money at all. It's impossible. You're not going to save money. So if you want to automate, there should be another reason. Maybe you're going to be faster. I don't know. But this is something that people don't think about at the beginning. So why would you like to automate? Why? What's the reason behind? So if you're thinking about cost savings, it's okay. Okay, let's go for costs. So we analyze maybe one project or one flow or many flows. That depends on the customer needs and the size of the customer. From that point on, we see if it is possible to automate that flow or flows. If they are so if we have more than one, we always recommend the customer to start with the most profitable one, obviously. And we have to design that application, that mobile robotics project. So we design it and we select the kind of mobile robot that applies to that solution. And from that on, we put in contact our customer with the potential providers. We analyze the different quotations and we launch the project. That's how it works for the first kind of customer.
Okay. How many countries or what is your actuation area?
So we have worked with customers in Australia, in Vietnam, Saudi Arabia, Israel, all around Europe and United States by now.
Okay. That's wide.
That's wide, yeah. Yeah, it's difficult
set of applications.
Yeah.
So knowing that well, these like end customers of AMRs, I'm sorry for saying AMRs, mobile robots.
Well, you can say AMR, no problem for me.
What do you think it's the right name?
Mobile robot.
Mobile robot.
Yeah, the right name is mobile robot.
So
sometimes you will see that I say AGV. I say AGV very often because
many people say AGV as well.
Yeah, because we were born saying AGV, and so it's very difficult now to say mobile robot.
So knowing all these end customers of mobile robots, what do you think is first something that mobile robot providers should improve?
The design of the project. They don't. Most of the integrators and most of the mobile robotics providers, they don't know how to solve a need from a mobile robotics perspective. Actually, there are really few people in our country, in Spain, or even in Europe. There are really few people in Europe able to make a good design of a project.
And how can we improve that?
Sorry?
How can we improve that?
Training and experience. So I understand that this comes from two sides. First, that people don't have the knowledge. So you have not been trained to do that. And second, most of the people don't have the experience. There are ones that we have the experiences because we have spent so many years, but it is very difficult to find someone with experience of more than 3, 4, 5 years in the mobile robotics industry today. So that's why we have a percentage of projects which are failing, because the design is not correct, and it's because the people are not trained and don't have the experience.
And for the providers, there are many startups, medium-sized companies, small companies, which are coming into the space of mobile robots, providers of wheels, software, sensors, actuators, many parts of the AMR. What do you think is the most important things that they should take into account when getting into this market?
To define what you're going to sell and see if there is a match between that and the needs of the market. There are so many companies that they think they have a great product or a great solution. Maybe it's true, but who cares if it doesn't answer a need in the market? So you need to know what you're going to sell. If you don't know that, forget about it. And you have to define that from the needs of the market, not to the needs of the market.
How they can find those needs of the market?
I would say hiring a consultant. I have to say it. Finding someone with experience that knows the market. Yeah, that's the only way.
What about talking to customers?
They don't have a contact with customers.
Okay.
They don't have contact with customers. Maybe they have contacts with 2, 3, okay, 10. Is that a trend? It's not a trend. You don't really know. Well, an anecdote. I had a customer. It was years ago. Maybe he hears that and he's going to laugh. But I was telling him about the different applications in automotive industry, and he told him, and here is the supermarket. And he told me, sorry, the supermarket? What are you saying? And he started laughing. I said, what's the problem, man? He said, supermarket in automotive? Haha, that can be real. I said, really? That means that you know nothing about automotive industry. So if you want to sell something in automotive, you need to know what's a supermarket, and don't laugh. So that's kind of surprising, and that happens.
What is a supermarket?
So the supermarket is where you prepare the kit.
Okay.
That go then to the assembly line. So you know that each car has different features, and you have to prepare. I know for each seat that you want to assemble, you need to prepare a kit of parts. So that kit of parts comes from the supermarket.
Okay.
But he didn't know what a supermarket it was. So that means that you know nothing about the industry itself. So really.
So first getting a deep knowledge of the industry,
yeah,
if necessary, with someone that has the experience.
Yeah, the problem is that many of those customers, they are really good engineers, and they are maybe good software developers, but they know nothing about the needs of the end user, and that's a problem.
Okay. Where do you see the future of moving robots?
Growing. We have many customers to help. Yeah, we have many customers to help. And I think there is a clear lack of knowledge in this industry, and we can help out with that. So our mission in the end is to help our customers with our knowledge, as I mentioned before. So we will be growing. We are already growing. So actually, we have for this year, the turnover is already insured. So we are gonna grow from last year, so from 2023 to 2024 is already assured. So no problem with that. We'll be growing.
Okay.
The difficulty that we have is to find people with knowledge that we can hire.
Scaling.
That's the most important challenge.
So, more off-topic questions. Are you an influencer?
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I try not to be. Actually, I don't. So if you have a look around I have many friends who are influencers, particularly in LinkedIn. And sometimes we chat and say, no, but look, my approach is completely different because what I share, so they post nice videos. Maybe I post nice videos, but my target is not to post nice videos and to have many followers. That's not the target. The target is to have a network of mobile robotics people together and to provide knowledge to that network, because there is a lack of knowledge, I insist. So in the end, what I try to do with my post is to provide knowledge. And in these other influencers that I have as friends, what they do is, no, I want to have followers, and I say, okay, then we have different scopes.
Okay.
So no, I don't consider myself an influencer, please.
How did it start, this interest for LinkedIn and sharing knowledge and information there? When did it start?
It started some 3-4 years ago. 3-4 years ago during the pandemic. Nothing to do at home, And yeah, well, there were some people saying, "Why don't you post more info about that? It's pretty useful for me." And I mean, that's so good that someone tells you, "Please post more things about such topic because it's really interesting for me, and I cannot find the information about that." That happens very often. Actually, many people tell me, so where can I find information about mobile robotics? And I always say, go to LinkedIn, because you will not be able to find it anywhere else. There are a couple of books that you can read, but they are already outdated. And because they are already outdated, but because it goes so fast, it's impossible to be on the trend with just one book or something like that.
What do you think is the best network to be updated, to keep updated on AMR's mobile robots?
LinkedIn, definitely.
LinkedIn for now?
Yeah, for sure.
I had another question. Just crossed my mind with this one. You said something very interesting here. I see many AMR providers and suppliers trying to communicate over LinkedIn, and it looks like their efforts are not giving the fruits that they're expecting. So they make very nice reports that maybe don't get, not so many people watch, or videos, and you said something very interesting, which is the purpose of why you post this.
Inbound marketing is called.
What would you tell them? Because they have the knowledge.
But they don't have the knowledge to communicate. That goes for you. Engineers don't know how to communicate. This is a problem actually that we have here in Spain. Spanish people don't know how to communicate. We are good at doing other things, but communication is not our strength. And generally speaking, engineers have a lack of communication skill. They don't know how to communicate, generally speaking.
We are both engineers as well.
Yeah, well, it's not. Well, it is said that it's not my case, but I don't know. But I think that people don't know how to communicate. That's the first point. But the second point is that so many people don't know that they need to communicate. So, okay, have a look at the mobile robotics companies in Europe and tell me how many of them are communicating properly. And we can make a list.
What do you think are the top keys to see if someone is communicating properly?
I would say that when I see a video of more than 20 seconds,
okay,
for example, so that's man, even 20 seconds is too much. So nobody's gonna watch a video of. We never see videos during 1 minute. It's impossible. Nobody's gonna do that. You don't have the time. I don't have the time. You don't have the time. Nobody has the time for that. Because how many do I have to see until I find something interesting? So I don't have the time for that. So you need to place, a 10-second video, a 15-second video, but 1 minute video? Who's gonna watch that? Nobody. So that's an important mistake. Very common.
It's like Netflix.
It's like TikTok, actually.
Oh, more like TikTok, yeah.
Like TikTok.
I mean Netflix, because you ask someone, do you want to watch a 10-hour movie? And they will say no.
No.
Do you want to watch 20 episodes of 20 minutes? Yes, I will watch them all straight at the same time.
Yeah. That's how it works. No, but the thing is that the communication changes depending on the channel that you're using. So maybe a 1 minute video can be interesting for I don't know, for a conference, for a 15-minute conference, but not for LinkedIn. That's not going to work. And in LinkedIn, you have to show something that is reality. There are so many people posting, for example, renders. That is not going to work, because when I see a render, what I think is that
they don't have
it doesn't exist, and so that's clear. And you need to show something that attracts the eye of the watcher, right? Particularly that is related to what they have at their facilities. So, for example, this is something I always say. So, if your customers are moving pallets, you have to show a mobile robot moving pallets. So, if you show, I don't know, mobile robot moving a crate, and you're targeting pallet movers, so it's not going to happen. So
it has to be relevant to them.
That it has to be important for them. That's it. Important and linked to the reality. So if it is not linked to the reality, it is not going to work.
Where did you start seeing the effect on communicating on LinkedIn?
After 3 months. Since I started, I always say that if you start communicating on LinkedIn in 3 months, you will get a customer. It happens, really. Really, it happens. It happens. Actually, one of your customers, which has been one of my customers, I told them, start communicating in LinkedIn, and in 3 months you will get a customer. And they got it. It works.
Consistency. How much important is consistency on this communication strategy?
There are different levels. Well, that's a good question.
When you started the pandemic, how often did you publish or post on LinkedIn?
I don't remember. 3 times per week, maybe.
Okay.
The ideal thing should be once per day. But for example, I never post during the weekends. It's not. I don't like it. And to be honest, in many cases, I forget to post during 1 week or more. Depends on if I have so much work. So, for example, if you see that I'm not posting, it's because I am so busy. Yeah, that's how it works. But ideally, each day. But if you're gonna do that, then 5 days. And if you're gonna do that, 3 days. But it's important to post, and it's important to communicate. So no matter how good you are, if you don't communicate, you are not good. So, for example, people tell me, "But you know so much about mobile robotics," and I tell them, "How do you know that?" And they answer, "We have seen you on LinkedIn." And I say, "Are you sure that maybe it's not that way?" So people really think that I am an expert in mobile robotics because they have seen me in LinkedIn, but maybe I am no expert. Who knows?
You launched during last year moving robots. You also created your very nice LinkedIn page. What's going on with company pages on LinkedIn?
They don't work. But I mean, they don't work if you don't pay. If you pay, so I don't know if LinkedIn is watching this, but I understand. So what I think is behind that is that the way that LinkedIn gets the money comes from companies paying for the company profiles. So if you don't pay, you're not gonna get anything. So the personal accounts work, but the company accounts are not going to work unless you pay. And I understand that.
There is a second explanation that is less monetary, which is people want to connect with people, not companies, right?
That can be but maybe both. I don't know. That explanation is
probably it's the other one, but
no, but that explanation is very humanistic. I like it. Maybe it's more important than one. I'm not sure.
Anything else you would like to talk about? Say,
yeah, for sure. We need to talk about Spain.
Okay.
The Spanish Mobile Robotics Association. The almighty Spanish Mobile Robotics Association, ARME.
So 1 year and a half ago, you together with other companies and people started ARME, the Spanish Association of Mobile Robotics, if I'm not wrong.
You're right. At that time, I was self-employed. There was no company. So it was just one self-employed and 7 companies. Okay. So 8 in total, yeah.
What's the reason for starting ARME? What's the vision of ARME?
So in the end, the target is to make Spain become the benchmark, the reference in mobile robotics worldwide. That is the target. And how do we reach how do we reach that target? So we need to foster the Spanish mobile robotics for sure. That's the way we work. We have mainly we have three strategies right now, or three pillar strategies. The first one is communication, because I always say that the problem that we have in Spain is that we don't communicate what we do. So we make great things, extremely great things, in many different fields, particularly in mobile robotics, but we don't communicate. So I always say that think that the companies that we are now in the Spanish Mobile Robotics Association in ARME are we are working in 50 countries around the world. So we are exporting so much, and when we are working in 50 countries, this means that we are doing something in a good way. But if we don't communicate that, if I don't come to a podcast and say that, forget about it. Nobody's gonna know. It's not gonna be important. I would say it's the same reason that you can find behind the pizza. The pizza is so famous, tortilla is not. I don't know why. Communication. The answer is communication. But this is the same thing. We need to communicate. That's the reason why the first strategical pillar that we have at ARME is communication. We need to communicate and to position Spanish mobile robotics. First one. The second one is that we have to be trained. So we have said before that there is a lack of knowledge. So we need to train people to be able to install any kind of mobile robot and work with any kind of mobile robot. Second. And then we have the third one. The third one is related to niche applications. Why? Because in Spain, I don't think that in the future we will be manufacturing in Spain standard mobile robots. So there is a large volume in China. They have very low prices, and we are not going to be able to reach that by now. And I know in the future, but by now, that's the reality, and we have to work with that reality. But what we can do pretty well is answer the needs of the niche applications, and we want to foster that. So in total, we are talking about three strategies: communication, training, and niche. So this is the way we are driving right now.
Okay. Something like be the new Germany of...
I don't want to talk about Germany. Don't include that. No. We are better than Germans.
What is the current situation of Spain in terms of power with mobile robots? Because I've heard some statistics that I was surprised in terms of the power, the strength of Spain.
Yeah.
And when you talk with people from other countries, they say, really? Spain?
Yeah, it's true. But when we think about mobile robotics, sometimes we forget that mobile robotics have an important future, and is that they are mobile. It may sound a bit strange, but mobile robots move around. So this means that you work around you work in an environment. And this environment is very dynamic. It changes. I always talk about the pillar paradigm. The pillar paradigm happens when you are a mobile robot integrator, and you go to your customer to install the mobile robot, and you go there with your mobile robot, you put it on the floor, and you tell the customer, okay, we're going to install the mobile robot. You start to install the mobile robot, and at a certain moment, there is a pillar in the way. And you tell the customer, excuse me, but there is a pillar over there, and it's not on the drawing. How is this possible? In the drawing, there's no pillar, but there is a pillar over there. And the customer tells you, oh, I didn't realize. It is true. There is a pillar. Other cultures, what they do is, I'm sorry, but you have to move the pillar. In Spain, what we do is, we tell the customer, okay, the pillar is there. Nothing we can do with that. We can make the AGV or the mobile robot go to the left or go to the right. So Spanish people are really extremely good at solving unexpected situations. And this is something that we need to value ourselves, and to show the rest of the rest of the world. We are really good in general at solving problems. Some time ago, I was making a podcast. We were recording a podcast with the operations vice president of Hyperloop. Actually, he lives here in Barcelona, and he told me, well, a long time ago, he was working for Airbus, and he told me that when Airbus was founded, there was a white paper saying that in each working team there should be a Spanish guy. Why? Because when you come to a blocking situation that nobody knows how to move forward, it's the Spanish person, the one who takes you out of that situation. So Spanish people, we are really prepared from a value perspective to solve situations which are extremely difficult for people coming from other cultures, and that's the reality. It's okay. What we call in Spanish the picaresca, that it's always from a bad perspective. Well, there are some good points of the picaresca. So that's why Spain is so strong in mobile robotics, because you need to be flexible and you need to adapt.
In regards to Arme, what is the current, would you say?
And another comment.
Go ahead.
The other thing is that we are really creative. So we were talking before about designing a project, designing an application. When you design a mobile robotics application, you need to be creative. And we are extremely creative here in Spain. So that helps a lot as well. Sorry, you were saying?
Can you explain a little bit in general who are the members of Arme? What are the benefits of being part of Arme?
So we are 28 members now. So we started 1 year and a half, and right now we are 28 members plus one partner, which is Bluebotics. They come from Switzerland. They have been our first partner. So the reasons to join Arme are, I think the most important reason is the networking. The networking is extremely has an important effect on the different members.
You said knowledge is one of the most important things. So you said before that knowledge is one of the most important things. So I understand that there is a lot of knowledge shared.
Great knowledge. You can find a great knowledge in Arme, for sure. And you can find experienced people. That is something that makes a difference. So you can find people working for the mobile robotics industry for more than 10 years, which is not really common. And one of the strengths is the networking that we do there. The networking is amazing. We meet 5 times per year, so it's quite often. Each 2 months we stop for the summer, and we are making our members grow from a turnover perspective. So actually last year there was a project. It was a 13 million euro project sold, because 3 companies joined forces together to get it. So there you can see that networking really works.
So thank you very much, Javier. Nice to have you here on the studio.
It has been a pleasure.
See you back soon. Okay.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much. See you.